El
because
Muerto.
our last topic of the day is El Muerto. Movie lives again. I wrote that subject
It's
headline myself.
alive. It's alive.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This comes to us from Collider. 7 months on from its removal from the release calendar, Sony has quietly resumed the development process for El Muerto, the first Latino-led Marvel film to date. Don't worry, we're all Puerto Rican here. We can say it like that. The project has been slated to star the Puerto Riqueño sensation Bad Bunny in the title role. But amongst a spate of postponements and delays following the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes, here's another strikes thing that's kind of pushing stuff back.
Yeah.
The film lost its star and therefore its place on the calendar. However, Variety, in a feature piece about the Sony films based around licensed Marvel characters, has revealed that work on the film has once again resumed with a hunt for a new star back on the agenda. The film was set to be directed by Mexican screenwriter and filmmaker Jonas Cuarón, with the script penned by Blue Beetle writer Gareth Dunnett Alcocer. Wow, these are fun names. In June last year, Bunny was asked about the status of the film in the wake of the strikes when speaking to Vanity Fair, to which he replied that he didn't know what to say, adding that the situation was delicate, before a publicist later informed the outlet that he was off the project. Couple of red flags here, my dude.
Yeah. More.
Hell yeah. But I think this is like, okay. All right. Okay. I'm Puerto Rican, right? You're Puerto Rican. Right? Are we questioning it?
Yeah, we are Puerto Rican. We've made it known quite a few times.
You like your arroz con gandules?
I
do as well. Good stuff.
Plátano mofongo. Sorry, I'll keep going.
As excited as I am to see a Puerto Rican actor on screen to play a main character for something, I also kind of cringe at the idea of it being someone who's not actually an actor.
Yeah.
So maybe we're dodging a bullet by not letting Bad Bunny be the main guy. But also, El Muerto, I believe it's supposed to be a Mexican wrestler.
Right. He's supposed to be a Mexican. Yeah, he's supposed to be Mexican.
Listen,
I don't know if they'll change that for the movie, but yeah, he in the comics, he's Mexican.
I mean, he's a wrestler's a wrestler. So, like, if you're a Mexican wrestler, that makes more sense than a Puerto Rican wrestler, because we don't really see much of that. We just, like, I guess, use knives, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what I'm saying.
This is a West Side Story. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, man? Okay, but no, like, it's interesting to me that, you know, the day that we finally get a Puerto Rican guy to star in a film, it ends up being to replace a Mexican actor instead of a Puerto Rican character. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas then you look at Multiverse of Madness, and the girl who plays
America Chavez
is supposed to be Puerto Rican.
The reverse
is played by a Mexican.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sony was like, well, if they can do it, so can we.
We'll do the reverse.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans, we'll take all the jobs.
But the difference is they actually got an actor for Multiverse of Madness. I will say, though, have you seen the SNL episode hosted by Bad Bunny?
No.
It's actually pretty hilarious. He actually does a pretty good job. And of course, you know, the writing staff, they do a good job at trying to write sketches around the hosts and their strengths. Mm-hmm. And they did a really great job. He was hilarious. You should check it out if you can on YouTube. But I will say but besides that, Bad Bunny's not really seasoned as an actor, you know, and he's not really the stuff he's shown us. Like, you know, he was cool in Bullet Train, but he didn't do.
I was just about to say,
yeah, just some action scenes and some mean looks and all that stuff. But yeah,
I also feel the same way. I feel like he couldn't. I don't think he's there yet on carrying a film himself. You know, I just didn't see it. Or maybe we're not giving him a chance, you know? Maybe we're not giving him a break to prove us wrong. But
but to give him a break on a film like this, though.
Yeah, like, and also, if I were him, if I were Bad Bunny, I'd be like, dude, Sony's Marvel universe? I mean, come on, guys. We're trying to do a spiderless Spider-Man universe. I mean, what are you doing, guys? Like, do you really want to be a part of the Morbius universe? It's Morbin time.
Or the Madam Web. We'll see what happens with Madam Web, but
I am speaking so poorly of it, but at the same time, like, it's just because I'm such a big fan of these universes. I want them to be good, and I just don't feel like Sony knows what they're doing exactly with this current universe that they're trying to build. Yeah. Or at least, if they do know what they're doing, they haven't made it clear to anybody on what's going on, because it's just so randomly and sporadic the way they're doing it.
Mm.
Do we need a Mexican wrestler, a vampire, and Craven the Hunter, and like, are we building a Sinister Six from different multiverses? Because you could have just done that in No Way Home if you just added one more villain. You know what I mean? Like,
This just feels like DC EU stuff. Like just the slapping it together and just like we don't know. We're just gonna make it all fit, you know?
Yeah, if you're trying to make like an Avengers level thing, and that's like you're just looking at an Avengers film from Marvel Studios and going, that's what we want to do, but you're not paying attention to the building blocks to get there, then you're not gonna get what you're hoping to get. You know, like that's not how that works. That being said, let me also put up another red flag. Oh man, I feel so bad saying this. I was not a fan of Blue Beetle. The movie Blue Beetle.
Really? I think we talked about this though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the characters were awesome. I just think the writing really put me off. But I want to see more of Blue Beetle. Like I want to see Solo Maridueña, right? That's the name of the actor.
Right, Solo Maridueña.
He was awesome. He's a great Blue Beetle.
I mean, if James Gunn is to be believed, he's at least Blue Beetle, the character, is gonna cross over into the new DCU. But I don't know if Solo is coming along with it. I don't know, but I hope he does.
I'm pretty sure he's coming along. He must be at this point. But if anything, if they do bring him back, I just don't want the family to feel so cartoony. You know, that was my problem. Was the writing made them feel like they were just so like. This is a film aimed towards 13-year-olds rather than like teenagers, and I'm like, you're all teenagers though. You're all like young adults. You know, this shouldn't be aimed towards 13. I mean, I get it. The toys, my brain's going everywhere right now.
I thought it was sweet. I liked it. I thought it was charming.
If I brought my son and he was
cold-hearted person,
I'd be like, don't you dare smile throughout this movie. No, not at all. I would be excited because you know there's some movies that you watch that you're like, this is for a little kid, like this is their enjoyment. I'm gonna go to Walmart after this and buy him a Blue Beetle action figure because that'll make him so happy. But he's gonna scream
for one, and then you're like, fine, I'll go get you one.
Okay, no, this is the purple beetle, Dad. It's the same thing. But you know, anyways, the writer, I guess, for this movie was gonna be the same, which. Again, I am all for the representation stuff, but at the same time, like, can you get maybe a better writer? I don't know. If you're gonna do El Muerto, I don't know. I don't even care about El Muerto. That's how bad it is for me, though. Like, this is my problem: is that Sony is putting together these movies that nobody's asking for because they're just like, hey, let's you guys like you guys like wrestlers? Yeah, Spider-Man fought a wrestler at one point, right? You watch that movie.
Yeah.
When did he fight a wrestler? Oh, in the comics in like 19. I'm gonna stop you right there. 19 what? Like, are you? Nobody talks about it. It's not a popular character. Then I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm
Is that when El Muerto debuted? Is that what was his?
Dude, I'm just making numbers up at this point. I'm just saying, dude. The character just feels so irrelevant. Maybe I'm insulting every comic book fan right now because maybe
I'm sure there's going to be people screaming at you.
They're like, "How dare you? I've been reading El Muerto since 2005." But it's the kind of thing where it's like it's not as well known. I want to give it
I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking an unknown comic character and then bringing him into the forefront in a film, and they've done it very successfully. All the Guardians of the Galaxy were relatively unknowns. You know, they were kind of B, C characters in the comics, and James Gunn brought them to the forefront, and now they're popular, and we all know who they are, and it's possible.
But the problem with that is just the pattern of Sony's films. They've had
Sony specifically has not had a good track record.
When they put out the first Venom movie, everybody was like, well, Venom, of course. Who doesn't want to go watch a Venom movie? That sounds cool. And then they were like, awesome. Now let's do a Morbius movie. But Morbius is not as popular as Venom. So nobody's going to go watch a vampire thing unless Blade is in it. And Blade's not in it. Spider-Man's not fighting him. Why is this important to us? It tanked in the box office. Jared Leto's career went downhill. Then you have Craven the Hunter's coming out next.
I think he's still doing fine, though.
Is he?
He's got the Tron movie coming up.
People
He's
are
still
like,
working.
let's give him another chance. I get this time for sure after the 7th movie that he's worked on and not succeeded at. Like, poor Jared Leto. The guy is a good actor. It's just he does not know how to pick his projects. But then, I've been going on a rant about this topic way too long. But
Please keep going.
by all means, then you have Kraven the Hunter, which all I've heard is that people behind the scenes are saying it's bad. And I'm like, no, Russell Crowe is in it, and he's everybody's dad now, and like everybody's dad's movie is getting bad. Like, come on, Bad Bunny. That's how they thought of the Bad Bunny casting, because the movies were so bad that.
Well, you notice. Have you noticed too with Madam Web? The movie comes out like what, in less than a week or something, or in about a week?
It's out.
Only one trailer. They still haven't put out a second trailer.
No movie reviews yet have come out. So
I don't know when they're lifting the embargo on that.
If they lift the embargo, like, listen, for all you listeners who don't usually read up on the movie news stuff, if you don't hear any news about a movie until the day before, it probably means that the studio is very nervous about the reviews, and they don't want you to know. All they want is for you to go into the theaters, spend your money, and then find out it was a bad movie, which you should be able to sue for that. I'm not gonna lie, or at least get your money back for that, because that's.
Don't know if it works that way, but
I think
it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
It's definitely not a good sign. But anyways.
And if you don't have a second trailer, I mean, like, or even what, you got nothing else to give us? You got nothing else for me? What? Why should I see Madam Web?
It feels like I think I said this ages ago to you, Raul, where Marvel Studios has like these awesome like hot toy figures that are like super detailed and awesome, and Kevin Feige built it himself, and it looks so cool, and everybody goes, yay, the older brother, yeah, you're so talented. And then Sony's like this preschool kid who's like, hey, I want to do the toys that my brother's making, and then starts sticking stuff together, and everybody goes, wow,
just slamming them together. This is fighting.
Just breaking, and you're like, oh, wow, good job, you. And then this little kid's looking at Kevin, his older brother, and going, I want to play with that toy. And then Kevin's like, no, dude, get your own. Hey, you share with your little brother now, okay? And then now he's got to share his toy with the little brother. And so now every time he makes a new toy, he goes, ta-da! And everybody just has to go, But no one's mean enough to punch Sony in the face and go, stop it. Stop making these dumb movies. There is a pattern of them failing. What are you doing? You are making the Sony universe of Spider-Man look worse and worse by the day. Stop it. Just put Spider-Man in there and just get me pictures of Spider-Man. Anyways, that is... Is there anybody... See, because it's like the whole deal with like Kevin Feige being a figurehead there at Marvel. You got one singular kind of guy. And then over at DC, now they got James Gunn and Peter Safran, but they've got people in place to guide the thing, right? Right.
I don't know of anybody at Sony who's kind of guiding this thing, or at least, I don't know. I guess is Amy Pascal still involved in all these movies?
But
if she is, I see her more as like coming from the business end of it. Amy Pascal.
Right. She's the Peter Safran.
She's the Peter Safran. There's no James Gunn element. There's no creative drive. And it just sounds like they're just kind of doing whatever and not really sure. Well, what do we can't use Spider-Man because he's borrowed, MCU's borrowing him. Well, we could do animated Spider-Man. Okay, so we got Spider-Verse. That's working great. What else we got left? Okay, Kraven, Venom, Madam Web, El Muerto, what else do they do? And they can't put Spider-Man in their movies.
I got it. The Hypno Doctor, and we'll get Childish Gambino to come in and play him for the Spider-Man universe.
Well, he's already Aaron Davis, though.
That's right.
Can't get him. But it's just like this is like I said, old DCEU stuff. I mean, there's no clear direction. There's no figurehead that I know of that's driving this thing creatively. There's no plan. Nobody's coming out and saying, this is what's going on. This is what we're building to. We don't have any of that. And that's just so frustrating here.
What Sony needs to do is find someone. They need to find their Kevin Feige, put Kevin Feige in the front and go, this is our man. This is our guy. We put all our faith in him. We are very positive about this, because when you guys are confident about this person, then it it makes everybody else comfortable. Like we all feel less on the edge that, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
No. They got a guy. This guy loves the things that they're doing. So like they know what they're doing, and the company has faith in this person. Disney has faith in Kevin Feige. Warner Brothers now finally has faith in their leader, James Gunn and Peter Safran. Sony, you got to do the same thing because it's just a part of the culture. It's just part of this thing, If there's nobody running it themselves and you just have different corporate names screaming at each other left and right on different ideas that don't even mash up to each other, then it doesn't really work. And also because we as the fan base have basically now grown up with this stuff for the past 12 to 13 years of Marvel movies and DC movies, we're accustomed to that now. So it only makes sense to just follow that part of the crowd and then do your thing,
Right.
But oh my God, Sony.
I think
really,
that's all we have to say about that.
But somehow Sony will always find a way to make it come back from the dead and do something. Their Spider-Verse movies are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, those are doing well. It's just their live action stuff that's just whew. Oh boy.
It feels like the Sony Marvel movies they're still in the early 2000s. Like that's where their level of writing is right now. And that's where I'm like, all right, well, let's pick up the pace, you guys. Learn from the other guys.
Well, I feel like now we're beating a dead spider.
We are definitely. I wish I had my boom thing, but dang, pat on the back for you. Yeah, good stuff. Well, then, listen, everybody. Thank you for listening to that rant. That's the end of our 5 topics today.
That's it.
Please, hey, you know what? If you have a thought about those topics, or that last one specifically, because we really did rant on that one.
Yeah,
let us know.
That's a good juicy one.
Send us an email at realgeeknews@gmail.com. So please, we would love to hear from you guys.